Hauling sap uphill? Not anymore. We found a simple, budget-friendly setup that pumps sap straight from our collection tank up to our sugar shack at the top of Sweet Maple Ridge. No more muddy ruts, no more wasted sap, just an easy and efficient solution that anyone could use. Want to know how we did it? Stick around to see the secret behind our game-changing setup. Join us!
Sweet Maple Ridge Farms. Come on down, everybody. Woo!
All right, everybody, so we got this black pipe. We're going to use this to pump sap from our collection tank, which is down below me. And we're going to use this to pump the sap from the collection tank all the way up to our sugar shack. We're going to show you how you do this. Now, what we've done to put this pipe together, now this is 3/4 inch, regular 100 PSI pipe. We got it from Lowe's. It's about $33 for a 100-foot roll. And we have a 900-foot span that goes up approximately 100 feet. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how we set up. But before we go any further, I want to show you how we're connecting these pipes together. So we have this connector here. We have the stainless steel things here. And we use the torch to warm the pipe up. And this fitting goes on super, super easy. So we're going to connect this one to there. So what I'll do is I'll warm the end of this pipe up. I'll put this on there. And then, bam, it slides on really, really easy. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. I'll show you at the end how it works too. There's very few videos on YouTube that talk about dealing with sap and how to handle it, how to move it quickly. Last year, oh my gosh, we went back and forth hauling sap on the back of our side-by-side in a 55-gallon barrel with no lid. So we could only fill it up about halfway because otherwise it all sloshed out. So this is going to be an incredible way to move sap and do it a lot more efficiently. And we're doing it using a pump. And I'll show you the pump here in a minute. Okay, so here that is. That's going all the way up. You can see our pipe here. Your best bet is to let it sit out in the sun for a good while before you use it. Otherwise, you're going to get some of these twists in it. But we'll deal with that. You can have this. And down here is where our collection tote is going to be for our sap. So what we're doing is we're going to pump it. We're going to pump it up from this position right here. We're going to have a collection point right there, a 55-gallon barrel, food grade. We're going to pump it up here using this pipe to a tote that we have about halfway up the hill. Now, the tote is 275 gallons, so no problem there doing what we do in terms of storage there. So that's the worst part of dealing with this pipe, is just getting it straight. But all you got to do is just let it sit out. All right, so we got this. Now we're going to put a couple fittings on here. I'm going to show you what we have come up with. So here's the pipe, the end of it. Our first, sorry, I'm out of breath walking up that hill. Our first collection point. Now, this is a tote that collects from our main line up there. So about 110 taps. So what we do is have this. It's coming from down there at the bottom of the hill where I said that 55-gallon barrel is going to be. So that's going to pump this into here. Then once that's done, and once this gets full, then we use this. We use this to pump this the rest of the way up to our sugar shack. And I'll show you how we do that. All right, so what we're gonna do is put a valve on this at the very end so that we can, when we turn the pump off, all the sap that's left in the line doesn't come rushing down the hill like crazy. So once we're done pumping, and this valve will be in the on position, we'll turn it off, turn the pump off, and we can unhook this from the pump, and then that'll be that. Any sap that's left in the line, it can either stay, or even better, we'll just put it back in the tote. So all you gotta do is get this fitting, and this is threaded, and it goes on there like that. But we need to put on plumber's tape first. All right, take that, and I'm gonna thread that on there. I can't do it while I'm holding the phone though, so. All right, there it is. We're gonna do the same thing with the remainder of the pipe. It's right here. And we're gonna put another fitting on there. Okay, so this is what we've got. This is our final product here. So what we're going to do, here's our simulated sap. So this is just water in a barrel, but we're going to simulate that this is sap, and we're going to pump it up to an IBC tote that's about halfway up the hill. And at the very top of our hill is where the sugar shack is. So the reason we're doing this is because we're sick and tired of moving sap around. Probably the same story that many of you all have, and we've been trying to figure out a solution for it. And this is what we've come up with, is using this black pipe here. So I got a valve on here. We're going to open that valve. I got a fitting here. And on the other side of the fitting, we have this pump. We got this at Harbor Freight. I think it was right around $200.
If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We really appreciate it.
It's the 1-inch gasoline-powered water pump from Harbor Freight. And so far it works great. 79 cc's. It's pretty good on gas. And so you have to buy the water inlet hose separately. But this is what we did with our water inlet hose, just to show you. This fitting is from Lowe's. We bought this off of Amazon. And the hoses, when you get it, it's real tightly coiled up in a box. So, of course, you know, it's going to, if you don't do something, it's going to stay coiled up. So we took this road marker, you know, you use in the winter. We zip tied it on here. And here's like a little filter at the bottom. So what we do is take this. I'll put that in there. And so that way you can use this in like totes or, you know, where you need to stick something, you know, through a smaller hole. All right. So then we fashioned this up together. This is all from Lowe's, and this is going to attach to the end of that. Okay. Well, let me just explain this real fast. So this is a fitting from Lowe's. This is 1 inch here. So 1 inch to 1 inch. And this is actually mainline tubing from CDL. I got a bunch of it, so we used that. Got our 2 stainless steel fittings here. And then this is a 1 inch to 3/4 inch black PVC pipe with 2 more fittings. And then you have this PVC fitting that's 3/4 inch, and it has threads on the other side. You can see right there. So I put the pipe tape, and then I tightened this thing on here. So this will go on the end of there. I only have one hand, and I need 2. So I'm going to hook this up for you, and then we are going to test the pump to make sure that it can get it up to our intermediate pumping station. I think it's going to work, but stick around. You'll have to stick around to find out. All right, so we're all set up. We're ready to start the pump and do our test. The objective is to get this to pump up the hill. I think it's about 50 feet elevation, something like that, up to our intermediate tote about halfway up the hill, and we're going to use this Predator 1 inch water pump to do it. We're going to simulate that this is sap. So let's start this thing up. And as soon as it starts going, we're going to hop on the side-by-side and go up and see if it's pumping into that tote. I'm going to go ahead and open this. All right, let's do it. Boom. Looks like we got flow. Looks like it's moving. All right. Got a little leak there, but that's all right. All right, let's head up the hill and see what happens. There's our pipe, you can see that. They're off to the left. So it should be pumping up. Pumping up. You can see this is a pretty good hill here. This is where it should be pumping up to. I'm not surprised it's not coming out yet. It is coming out. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, buddy. All right, that's exactly what we want. So when we have sap down at that lower spot, we're not going to have to haul it back and forth now. Now we can just pump it up here to this big tote where this other main line unloads into also. We have to get this hooked up. But that other main line, this is about 110 taps, unloads into this. And this one is about 75 taps. So now we don't have to worry about bringing that stuff that's down the hill all the way up here. Because what we're going to do next, and what I'm going to show you next, is we're going to bring that Predator pump back up here now once this is done. And look at this. We got this, we got the same thing, and this is now going up to the sugar shack. So there is no more hauling. There's no putting ruts in the yard. There's no making Mrs. Sweet Maple Ridge upset because we're putting ruts in the yard or making mud. Nah, we're pumping. We're pumping all the way. So when we get done pumping this, I'll show you how we can hook the Predator 1-inch pump up to this and then pump it up to the sugar shack. Stick around. All right, so we're back up at this tank, and I will show you how we pump it up to our sugar shack and what it looks like up there. One of the reasons I like this pump is because it's pretty lightweight. It's not bad at all. All right, we got this here. Point that like this. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put this in our tank. It's clean water in here. Again, this is just a test, just to show you all what we're doing. We found there wasn't many videos on YouTube about how to handle sap. And by handle, I just mean taking the sap and you know, hauling it, or what people do once they have the sap collected in something like this. So anyway, I'm going to take this. Sorry guys, I only have one hand free. I'll be right back. All right, we have the union hooked up. We'll open up the valve. Turn this on to the on position. Starts right up. Got flow. There we go. Whoop. All right, so let's go on up and we'll show you what's going on. We got this pumping. Our pipe runs like over here. over there. Miss Sweet Maple Ridge over there. All right. Doesn't look like it's made it up here yet. That's all right. It takes a little bit. Oh, just in time. Woohoo! Yeah, so it takes a little bit. I bet you it takes about a minute or so. One thing you want to know is that when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you don't keep the lid on, that it's cracked. Because if you do this, it'll build up pressure inside of here. All right. Hey guys, so that's it. That's the video. This is how we pump that from our lowest collection point all the way up to the top of the hill here at our sugar shack. If you like this video, hit that like button. Definitely hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time out on the ridge.